Hey guys, I got a new video here for you, another review. Only this is kind of a blast from the past. This is a very old model from Spyderco, very out of production. It's not going to be easy to find, and in fact it's very collectible. This is actually probably the single most collectible Spyderco knife, and it's the Spyderco Q. Now before I go on, I want to direct you actually to another review of this knife. It's actually kind of funny timing because even though I've known about this knife for a long time, I've never really seen them for sale much. And I actually had one probably, I'd say 5 or 6 years ago. These came out in the mid-90s. And I had one, I got one in trade probably in 2001. And then I traded again, which I regretted. But I actually saw a review of this exact same model, same knife and everything, from Custom Tacticals. Now, if you're not familiar with their videos, you have to check them out. I apologize, I don't know the person's name who does the videos, but he's very thorough in his reviews. And among everything else, he has just great knives that he does reviews on. I mean, just top-of-the-line stuff. So you have to check out his stuff. And he just did a review on this knife. I would say maybe within a week, about a week ago. And I thought it was so strange because maybe 3 or 4 days ago I had a trade offer for this. I actually traded my the Camelus Blaze for this knife. So I thought it was funny that I had just seen the review and then now I have one. So it's really, really cool. And this is just going to be my quick review on the knife. I'm not going to be very, in-depth on this one, only because he has such a good review on it already. And he says everything you basically need to know. This is just my version of it. So definitely check out his video first. But anyway, this is, like I said, it's a very, it's an out-of-production knife, so this knife's got to be at least 15 years old by now, 14, 15 years old. And I have the exact same model that he has, which is the laser-cut Spyder logo in the blade, as well as it being plain edge. And how, as he also said in his video, is that the plain edge is very, very rare. Now, I would say, from my experience from seeing this knife, and if you want more information on this knife, you can go on Google and just search Spyderco Q. And you'll see a lot of different collectors' websites where they show this knife and all the different varieties. There's literally over 100 different versions of this knife. But anyway, what he was saying is that the plain edge is very rare. And I would say, from my experience, about 90% of these knives have a fully serrated blade. So yes, it's very, very rare to get a plain edge blade. However, this specific model with the Spyderco logo, that little spider in the blade, that is probably the most common design. So I have the most common design, as well as he does, but with the more rare full plain edge blade. Originally, these knives were made to be just a very cheap pocket knife, very affordable. I believe $20 or so, $15 or $20 original price tag on these in the 90s. But now, just like I said, the other guy mentioned this too in his video, even the very simple version like this will fetch close to $100, which is a huge jack up in price. I mean, it's not too often when you have a knife that more than quadruples in price. Some of the more rare knives, rare versions of this knife, I should say, will actually fetch a couple $100 a piece. The people who collect these, they go way out of their way to make sure that they get as many as they can. There's a couple people who just collect this specific knife, and they're constantly on the hunt for different models and different versions of it. A lot of different companies had their logos etched in the blade. These are all laser cut. Just really, really interesting. And again, like he also mentions in his video, the lock is not the most secure lock. I find that it gets the job done. You have a very simple cutout, little notch in the back of the blade, and then you have this wire sort of clip that's it's attached on the inside of the handle, and you have a bar here to make sure it doesn't pop out, and then it's just a straight bar across. So obviously, as you're pivoting the blade open, it just falls in that notch and locks open. Now, if I press really hard, it's still holding the blade, so it is fairly strong. But if you really, really wrenched on this knife, I would imagine, honestly, that this handle, the plastic handle here, would probably break before the lock would. But it's not the most effective lock, but it's very cool, and it's an interesting design. And it is actually ambidextrous, because you have it hanging off both ends. You can use left or right hand to unlock that. So that's pretty interesting. Obviously, the appeal is the cutout, the overall look of the knife. Very cool. It's I would say a small to medium sized knife. It's got, you know, a small blade. Actually, I got a ruler here. Let me give you some measurements. The blade itself is about 2.5 inches long. Let me put this down so I can give you a full shot. Overall length looks to be just under 6 inches, about 5 7/8, something around there. So, you know, I would say small to medium for size. But by far my favorite part of this knife is the pocket clip. Just amazing. I really, really wish Spyderco would do this on a couple new models. It's just really cool. You have the wire clip, which some people are familiar with. I like the wire clip very much. Very easy to use. This one's nice and tight, but not too tight. But by far the coolest part of this knife is the pocket clip. How this is attached. There's no screw. Most of these wire clips, how they're attached is you have an oversized screw head, and the actual wire clip is being pushed down as you put the screw in, so you have the pressure down that way. This one, however, there's cutouts, one this way and one that way, in the handle itself that accommodate the actual wire clip. To remove the clip, you don't need a screwdriver of any kind, no Phillips head, no Torx, nothing. All you have to do is pinch the clip together, okay? You'll see it'll pop out one side, then you pop out the other. And there you go. You removed your clip. What's awesome is that they actually had these cutouts on all 4 positions, both tip up and tip down carry, left or right-handed operation. So they got these cutouts, you know, in all 4 positions of the knife, which is awesome. So this was just in a tip up, right-hand carry position. So let's try in a tip down. I actually prefer it how it was in the tip up. But anyway, for tip down, all you gotta do is slide the one end in. Okay, pop that one side in. Squeeze the clip together, and the other side pops in. And that's it. How simple is that? I just think that's really, really neat. Very cool. Like I said, as far as it being secure like this, because it's not physically mounted in, it's just the only thing keeping it in is the pressure. To be honest, I actually tried this before I made the video. I clipped it to my pocket, and I pulled it out in all different manners, even aggressively trying to get the knife out very quick. And to be honest, it didn't budge at all. So I can't see this design as being flawed in that it's weak. I find it to be perfect. I just love how that's so easily done. Literally within 2-3 seconds, you can get your clip wherever you want it. It's perfect, and with no additional tools, which is really a huge bonus for me. So the one side pops in, and then there's the other. You're ready to go. How cool is that? Honestly, any Spyderco reps, if you're watching these videos, you got to get this design again. That'd be awesome. Really like that. Also, besides the clip being very cool, this is probably the lightest knife I've ever dealt with. I actually had to break out the scale to prove it to you, because some people aren't going to believe it. Obviously, having all these cutouts, both in the blade and the handle, is going to make it light. In addition, the handle is completely plastic, so it's going to be light in nature, but this is just amazingly light. I have a gram scale here, but it also measures in ounces. So let me turn it on. Let's see what we're in ounces right now, as you see here, 0.000 ounces. Let's see how much this weighs. Hope you can make that out. That is 1.23 ounces. 1.23 ounces. That is incredibly light. Like I said, it's not a very large knife, but even for its size, that is the lightest knife I've ever had. Very cool. And the handles, I would imagine, are just molded plastic to get that specific shape how they need it. It says Spyderco in the middle portion here, and on the back it says, move that pocket clip for you real quick. Love that. It's too easy. On the back here it says USA. The blade itself is not marked, however, because there's cutouts all the way down where the handle is, so there's really no exposed tang. So I believe that's why they went with the Spyderco on the handle, as well as the USA. So very, very neat. Awesome knife. Once again, you got to check out Custom Tacticals. Just awesome. Awesome review, and another great knife. So let me put this, and we'll stick with this. The tip up. Pop that in. There you go. Once again, thank you for your time.